In the England of 1866, it costs exactly 2 shillings and sixpence to make a woman disappear. That is the fee for a doctor's signature on a certificate of lunacy, and the man paying it, far more often than anyone ever dared to ask, is her husband. She will be taken to the county asylum in the morning. She has not been told. It is legal. Every part of what you are about to see is legal, and the woman it happens to, thousands of times in this one year in this one country, is about to live all of it, every rank of the women's side, from the numbered bed to the ring of keys that runs the place. This is the women's side of a Victorian asylum, and the year is 1866. You are a woman, committed for grief or temper or wanting too much, and this is your whole life on the side no visitor ever saw. 1866. By law, every county in England keeps a lunatic asylum out of the public rates, and every asylum is split down the middle by a wall, 500 men on one side, 500 women on the other. The men's side gets the inspectors, the reports, the histories, the women's side gets the wall. This is what happened behind it. You are 23. Your certificate says grief with temper, which means your child died in the spring, and in the autumn you were still weeping, and your husband found the weeping tiresome, and a doctor who examined you for 4 minutes agreed with him. 2 signatures, 2 shillings and sixpence. The door locks behind you. The committal trade. Learn first how the women around you got here, because almost none of them are mad. A wife who argued, a daughter who refused the man her father chose. A girl with a child and no husband, sent by a parish that did not want to pay for either of them. A widow whose relatives preferred her property to her company. Each one arrived the way you did, on paper, signed by men. The asylum does not check. It cannot. The law says 2 signatures make a lunatic, and the superintendent has 500 women and 11 nurses and no time to retry every committal. And so the paper is the truth, and the truth is filed, and you are case number 1104. On the ward you are a number in a ledger, and the ledger is the only part of you this place intends to keep. The ward. Now learn the machine you live inside. A bell wakes 500 women at 6. A bell feeds them at 8, at 1, at 6 again. A bell walks them into the airing court, and out of it, and into bed with the last of the light. After a year the bell lives inside you, and you move before it finishes ringing, and that obedience, gentle, bodily, total, is the whole method of the place. You eat everything they put in front of you. Learn that on the first day. The woman who stops eating goes on the melancholy list, and the melancholy list is fed by force, a rubber tube, a funnel, 4 nurses to hold her, and it is written up not as violence but as treatment, because in here everything cruel is written up as treatment. Night is the honest hour. In the dark the ward stops pretending, women weep, and call the names of children and husbands who signed them away, and the night nurse reads her paper by one lamp and has learned not to hear it. You learn to sleep inside the sound. Everyone does. It takes about a month. And once a week, through the barred day-room window, you see the other half of the world, the men's side, crossing their yard an hour before yours. Somewhere over there this same year, a man your own age is learning these same lessons, the bell, the list, the quiet. You will never meet him, remember him anyway, he matters to this story. The first Sunday of every month is visiting day, and it is the cruelest invention in the building, because it is made entirely of hope. 500 women wash their faces and put on their best caps and sit on benches in the long hall, and perhaps a dozen visitors come. The husband who signed your paper does not come to inspect his purchase. The family that preferred your property does not visit its conscience. You wait anyway the first year. Everyone waits, the first year. And at the far end of every ward sit the ones the waiting wore out, the chronic women. Committed as girls, some of them, for a temper or a child or a Sunday's defiance no living person now remembers, kept for 30 years, 40, because there is nowhere to send them and no one alive who wants them. They are not mad. They are simply what remains when a person is stored long enough. Look at them carefully. They are the far end of the road you are standing on, and you must now find another road. The treatments. Here is what medicine looks like on the women's side in 1866. And none of it will be dressed up because your great-granddaughters will need to know it plainly. The shower bath, stripped, strapped to a chair, and doused with cold water until the fight goes out of you. It is prescribed for temper. It is prescribed often. The straight waistcoat for the ones who fight. The padded room for the ones who scream. Chloral by the spoonful for the ones who cannot stop weeping, and more chloral when the first dose fades, until a difficult woman becomes a quiet one, and a quiet one becomes a shadow. Not one of these things has ever cured a single patient. Every one of them makes the ward easier to run, and the ward being easy to run is the only cure this building believes in. Understand the worst part precisely, it is not sadism. The doctors believe they are healing. The nurses are kind as often as they are hard. The whole machine is certain it is merciful, and that certainty is exactly what makes it unstoppable, because you cannot appeal against people who are sure they are helping you. You learn to fear the kind voice more than the strap. The strap ends. The mothers. One ward is kept for the mothers. Puerperal mania, the register calls it, the storm that can follow childbirth. And some of these women are truly ill and will truly recover, and some are only poor and unwed, and the difference stops mattering the moment a door shuts. A baby is born on this ward most months. For a while it is the only warm thing in the building. Then the child turns one, and the rules arrive. An asylum is no place for a child, the workhouse will take it. The mother's consent is not required, because the mother is a lunatic, her certificate says so, the one her family bought. You watch a nurse carry a baby down the length of the ward and out the door, and you watch the mother stand very still, and you understand that her stillness is the only thing standing between her and the padded room, and she knows it. The laundry. Across the yard stands the laundry, and the laundry is the truth of the whole institution. The asylum takes in washing from half the county, hotels, schools, the Gaol, and 500 committed women wash it 10 hours a day for nothing. The county calls this occupational therapy. The county also banks the receipts. A working woman is a cheap woman, and a mad working woman is free. It is also the punishment. Cross a nurse, and you are moved to the washhouse floor, where the steam takes the strength out of the strongest of them. And it is also, learn this carefully, the ladder. The laundry is run by patients, the trusted ones, the ones the nurses do not have to watch. The place cannot function without them, and the place knows it. The worker. So you make yourself one of them. It takes 2 years. 2 years of eating everything, weeping never, working always, until a nurse says your name to the matron and the matron writes it in the trusted book, and you become a working patient, unpaid, still committed, still property of a paper your husband bought, but useful now. And the useful are watched less, and the watched less see everything. You scrub, you serve, you soothe the difficult women the nurses cannot reach, because you were one and you speak the language. And at night you take stock of what you have learned. Which nurse drinks, which doctor never reads the files, which door is left on the latch on laundry days, not to escape. Escape gets you the padded room. You are learning the machine, because the machine is the only way up. The nurse. In your 7th year, the fever comes through the wards and takes 2 nurses in a month, and the superintendent does the arithmetic that runs every institution in England. Training is expensive, and you are already trained. They give you the blue dress and 8 shillings a month, and a certificate of discharge you may not refuse. You cannot be nurse and lunatic at once, so the same stroke of a pen that frees you, hires you. You are 29. You have been sane the whole time. And now the price of the ladder. The women you nurse are the woman you were. Be soft, and the ward runs you, and the matron returns you to grey. Be hard, and you keep the blue, and become one more part of the machine that took your name. You learn the exact arithmetic, kind enough to live with yourself, hard enough to keep the keys. You hold a woman down for the shower bath. You measure the chloral. Your hands do everything that was done to you, and your hands are gentler than the ones you knew, and you tell yourself that this is the same as goodness. Some nights you believe it. The matron. 12 more years. You outlast 3 matrons, 1 to marriage, 1 to fever, 1 to gin, and at 46 they give you the black dress and the full ring of keys, and you become matron of the female side, a labourer's daughter with 500 women, 11 nurses, a laundry turning county money, and the power to open or never open every door in the West Wing. No lady in the county holds power like it. It was given to you by a madhouse, and it is real. You change what a matron can change. The shower bath needs your counter-signature now, and you sign it rarely. The chloral is measured and logged and questioned. The mothers keep their children to 18 months, because you fought the guardians to a standstill over 6. And the machine lets you soften it. Understand this, because a softened machine runs smoother, and your wards are the quietest in the county, and the commissioners write you up as a model. Mercy that serves the institution is permitted. You test exactly where that line sits once a year, and you never cross it, because the woman who crosses it loses the keys. The dead. Behind the West Wing, past the drying grounds, there is a field. The women who are never discharged are discharged here. The graves are marked with numbers, not names. The ledger follows them into the ground, and the register of deaths says exhaustion over and over in the same neat hand, which is the truest word the institution ever wrote. They were worn out by the work, by the years, by the patience of the place. You bury 40 a year, you attend everyone. The head. You grow old inside the walls, and eminent beyond them. When the commissioners in lunacy need to understand the female side of any asylum in England, they send for you because you are the only kind of expert there is. You have been every rank of it. Patient, worker, nurse, matron. You have eaten the bread and signed for the bread. There is no one else like you, and there never will be, because the ladder you climbed is not supposed to exist. And then one autumn morning in your 68th year, a father brings a girl to your receiving room. She is 23. The certificate says grief with temper. Her child died in the spring. By autumn she was still weeping. The weeping was tiresome. 2 signatures, 2 shillings and sixpence. She stands very straight in front of your desk and swears to you that she is not mad, and she is right. And you know she is right, and you knew it before she opened her mouth, because you swore the same words in this same room 45 years ago. The pen is in your hand. Here is everything you could do: refuse the paper, demand a second examination, write to the commissioners who know your name. And here is what it would win her: a fortnight's delay, a different asylum, a father with 2 more shillings and sixpence. The law is not on trial this morning. The law is fine. You sign, and then you do the one thing the machine has never once thought of, in all its mercy. You look up and you tell her the truth. The ones who rage, they keep. The ones who weep, they keep. Eat everything, go quiet, watch. There is a ladder in this place, and I am the top of it, and I will be watching you climb. That is the women's side. A machine no one can stop, softened one signature at a time by the women it failed to break. It will run for another 100 years, and the last of these asylums will not close in England until your great-great-granddaughters are grown. Across the yard this same morning, an old man who climbed the men's side of this same wall is signing a paper of his own, in the same steady institutional hand. 2 keepers, 1 building, 40 years, and they have never once met. His 40 years are already told, the asylum where this whole story began. Watch his life next, and you will know the other half of this wall. 1 woman, committed for the crime of being inconvenient, on the side of the asylum the world was glad to forget. History is full of these wards. We are opening them, one life at a time. Subscribe, and no one gets forgotten twice.